One second.
You suggested should we go up or yeah, something on the break. Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming. Indeed, a great pleasure to have you. Yes. So, it will take much time for you. Just 45 minutes. Standards of Bangalore. Second. Yeah.
One second.
Morning, sir. How are you, sir? How are you, sir? My address. Next year. This doesn't coming. So we can go up. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Sir, you suggested should we go up or yeah, something on the breakfast. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Good morning. Good. Please come. Thank you. Chief Money commencement. Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming. Indeed, a great pleasure to have you here. Yes. So it take much time for you? No, it's okay. Just 45 minutes. Standards of Bangalore. Second. Yeah. Barma.
building it in about 2 phases. So this is just the first phase of the project. And the whole idea behind this project was to make it future-centric, because you don't know how technology, etc. will change over the long run. So it's designed on the concept of flexible floor plates, where the top 2 floors are office spaces, but most of the lower functions are designed for training. So there's an experience center right at the corner, the big glass box that you see, which will also be visible from the outside. But the ground is completely kept free, so that there is a lot of groundwater recharge, people can move, and it's completely visible. So the building is almost set within the landscape area. Even terracing is done such that outdoor spaces are more accessible from the inside. And we should probably start construction very soon on this.
This is called Cyber Nalanda. The concept is this is well, a lot of space in the backside. Yeah. So this is the experiment.
ಸರ್ ಬಂದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ
ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 1 minute.
ಯಾ ಸರ್
ओम योपाम पुष्पम वेद पुष्पवान प्रजावान पशुमान् भवते या एवं वेद योपाम आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवते अग्निर्वापामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवते योऽसो वैतपन्नपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवते श्रीमन्महा लक्ष्मीर्देवताभ्यो नमो नमः मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि श्रीमन्महा देवताभ्यो नमो नमः दीपं दर्शयामि स्वप्रकाश महादेव स्वप्रकाश महादेव सर्वान्तस्तिमिरापः सदाह्यभ्यन्तरं ज्योतिर्दीपोऽयां प्रतिगृह्यतां दिव्या कर्पूरमङ्गलविराजनं दर्शयामि श्रीमहालक्ष्मीर्देवताभ्यो नमो नमः उत्तरपानीयं समर्पयामि
ಪುರೋಹಿತರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಮಂಜು ಹಿಂದೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪುರೋಹಿತರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪುರೋಹಿತರೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡಿ ನೀನು ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಣ್ಣ ಸರ್ ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಸರ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ
Shantamurthy to felicitate Dr. Somanath. We warmly welcome you, sir. We also have amongst us our guest of honor, Deputy Director General of UIDAI, Ms. Tanusree Barma. I request Darshan to welcome Ms. Tanusree. We warmly welcome you, ma'am. A special regards from Ms. Urmila Murthy as she couldn't attend the event. To symbolize the enlightenment of this occasion, I request our esteemed dignitaries to step forward and light the ceremonial lamp. Thank you to our dignitaries for lighting the lamp and making this moment special. I would now like to invite Ms. Fasiya Shireen Syed, Head of People Excellence at SISA, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to everyone. As Bangaloreans, we can't help take immense pride in our city's beautiful tropical climate, and honestly, today's weather couldn't be more perfect for the special occasion we are about to unfold. It's not just a professional privilege, but also a personal joy for me to welcome you all to the foundation stone laying ceremony for Cyber Nalanda, which is SISA's groundbreaking initiative to establish a state-of-the-art R&D center right here in India. Before I dive into what makes this project so special, I want to take a moment to introduce our esteemed chief guest, a man who truly needs no introduction, but I would be remiss if I didn't highlight just a few of his incredible achievements. We are deeply honored to have with us Dr. S. Somanath, Chairman of ISRO. Under his remarkable leadership, ISRO has achieved historic milestones, including the awe-inspiring Chandrayaan-3, where India made history as the first country to land near the lunar South Pole, and 4 to achieve a soft landing on the moon. And that's just not one of the many, many incredible accomplishments in his illustrious 38-year-long career dedicated to space technology and systems engineering. Before I continue, there's something that's been on my mind, a quote from a recent movie that resonated with me deeply. It goes like this: "Everyone at this table will be forgotten as soon as our time here is up. But people like you will be remembered for you because some things are eternal." So Dr. Somanath, your journey truly embodies this sentiment. Your vision, your achievements, and your leadership, they inspire all of us to aim higher and push the boundaries of what's possible. It's a powerful reminder that true impact, like the kind you have made, is lasting and will be inspired for generations to come. So thank you, Dr. Somanath, for gracing us with your presence today. We are truly privileged to witness your vision and achievements come to life in our time, and we are beyond excited to have you here as we embark on our own ambitious journey with Cyber Nalanda. We are also incredibly honored to have Ms. Tanusree Barma with us, Deputy Director General, Technology Development, UIDAI. Thank you for being a part of this celebration. Your presence here holds special meaning for me as it symbolizes something close to my heart, women breaking the glass ceiling and scaling new heights in the fields of STEM and over and beyond. Your achievements inspire many, and we are honored to have you with us today. Just as ISRO's achievements have inspired the nation to reach for the stars, quite literally, Cyber Nalanda represents our own ambitious goal to reach new heights in the cybersecurity space. And as you know, it's not just about advancing technology, it's about setting a vision that aligns with SISA's mission to transform India into a global leader in cybersecurity. With technologies like AI, robotics, and quantum computing advancing at lightning speed, the risks that we face are growing just as quickly. The need for innovation solutions to tackle these challenges has never been more urgent. Then is where Cyber Nalanda steps in. Our commitment to securing the digital future by driving innovation and staying ahead in an ever-evolving threat landscape. Cyber Nalanda will focus on advanced research, development, and continuous learning. We are drawing inspiration from the ancient Nalanda University, a global beacon of excellence. Our goal is to bring together the brightest minds from academia and research to develop world-class cybersecurity solutions and to shape the next generation of experts and leaders in this critical field. This is truly an exciting journey we're about to embark on. Though it's not small feat, it will require us to bring our best in terms of perseverance, dedication, and commitment. But I firmly believe that by working together, we will succeed. Before go any further, I'd like to extend a huge thank you to all our partners, customers, our well-wishers, and every seaside who believed in this dream from the beginning. Your dedication and passion are the foundation upon which Cyber Nalanda is envisioned, and honestly, we couldn't be more grateful for your support. So, today, let's celebrate this significant milestone and look forward to the incredible journey ahead. Thank you all so much for being here today and for being a part of this exciting new chapter in the SISA story. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Fasia, for your warm welcome. Next, I would like to request our CEO, Mr. Darshan Shantamurthy, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Sneha. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, seasides. Good morning. Good morning. We've got Dr. Somanath, our hero here. We've got Madam Tanusree. Good morning. Good morning. That's better. We've come a long way as a company. as a cybersecurity organization over the last 18 years, one of the key things we have always been aspiring is to put India on the global map. We have, over the last 18 years, really put the digital payment infrastructure in a new orbit as far as India is concerned. You know, when we started in 2006, I'm sure many of you remember that India was way, way behind the digital payment infrastructure. But we have silently at the back, SISA as an organization, whether it's working with UPI, many of you know that I have been part of the UPI cybersecurity framework. We have worked on the global payment data security standards, and each of the 500 passionate seasides have been behind making sure that all our money is safe in our bank accounts today. So big round of applause to each one of you. A phenomenal accomplishment for the last 18 years. But for a moment, if you just pause and look at what is up against us. Cybersecurity, cybercrime is today at $10.3 trillion. I mean, if you heard me right, $10.3 trillion. That is 2.5 times the size of India's GDP. That's the kind of value of cybercrime. There is a cybercrime that is happening, cyber attack that is happening on an organization every 39 seconds. Whopping 39 seconds. So before I end my speech, there will be a couple of attacks that would have happened. It would have happened across the world. Today, the question, as we all know, in the age of cybersecurity, we say, it is not if it will happen, it is when it will happen, right? So we all need to be prepared for cyber attacks, and that is a real problem statement, despite whatever we have done. And if you look at the recent study, last year MIT did a study of cyber resiliency across countries. They picked up 20 countries, large economies, and then they ranked our cyber resiliency. And India came 17th out of 20th in the world. Despite being a technology powerhouse, despite putting India on the global map for IT services, we are way behind when it comes to cybersecurity. Even if you look at our corporate environment today, IT infrastructure, cyber solution stack, very few of them would be actually having something to do with India, except the fact that there is Indian services at the end of the day. So there is a big problem. I was the other day, addressing a global engineering expo, and one of the students got up and said, "Sir, how do I make my father use debit cards because he's so afraid that he will get compromised?" And that's the brutal truth. So despite whatever technology we have brought out for the last several decades, if it doesn't touch the common man, young or old, and they don't benefit, then our job is not done. And if you look at it, cybersecurity is a big challenge. And, multiple reports, World Economic Forum report, ranks this as one of the top 10 concerns for humanity, along with climate change. That is the kind of impact that today cybersecurity has. And we all know that it can threaten the very existence of mankind, especially with the kind of revolution that is happening in technology with AI, quantum, and robotics, like my colleague just said. So there is a problem. Cyber is a huge, huge problem, and our job has just got started. So what is the solution? And that's where we are coming to. As a company which is into cybersecurity, which has all the bells and whistles of what is required, the finest of the talent. Sir, I can tell you, some of the talent that we have is the best in the country, if not best in the world. We secure 6 out of 10 digital payment transactions in the country, and of course the world. We work on containing most of the sophisticated cyber breaches, with all being silent at the end of the day. You would not see us, this is the only fanfare that we do, but over the last 18 years, we have always worked on building trust of the ecosystem by not being exposed and not talking loosely about any of the cyber attacks that we have investigated. But having said that, the solution is, so what is the future for cybersecurity? And that's what we are trying to do here. And that's why we are all got together. So one of the key things is we, as a country, has to spend a lot on research and development. Research, without research, there is not going to be any advancement to anything that we're going to do in cybersecurity. So far, bulk of us have been, of course, the last 4-5 years has tremendously changed things, but we have a long way to go. Countries, and we have to emulate, there are countries which are far ahead of us, and we need to catch up with respect to the cybersecurity game. Not just for India, but for the world. Because of 3 things. One, the fact is that India is one of the few countries which can offer this kind of a solution because of various reasons. One is we are the largest democracy in the world. And largest democracy in the world can give that kind of trust to the entire ecosystem that we are going to be safe and secure when we build any cybersecurity products. Right? So that is one very, very important, and that's something that we have. And the second, we have one of the best talent in the world. The demographics is tilted towards our side. We have, we were just chatting while we were coming here. We're one of the best minds in cybersecurity in the country, or in the world, I should say. And the third, of course, we have a passion for research. And cost is one such benefit that we have. Because the world needs just not cybersecurity products or solutions which is unaffordable. It also needs to be affordable. It has to be cost effective if it has to touch the last mile. And that is what India can do. And that's the construct of Cyber Nalanda. Cyber Nalanda is all about collaboration, building that trust with the ecosystem. Second is to be advanced in terms of research, not just being a follower, not just being a button pusher for any of the cybersecurity products, but be a thought leader in cybersecurity. Yeah? And third is to be cost effective, right? So first is advanced, second is cost effective, and third is trust. So which is like what I call as ACT. And Cyber Nalanda is going to have these 3 things. Going to do advanced security research, is going to be cost effective, which we can say, and trust. And when we were thinking about this, which organization in the world today has accomplished these 3 things? Maybe not in cybersecurity, but anywhere else. This is one organization. And I don't think anyone needs any guesses for that. Which is that one organization? ISRO. One of the key things, advanced in the world. The most sophisticated space research work is done at ISRO. Cost effective. There is a meme that runs around that, ISRO puts satellites lesser than at the cost of a Hollywood movie. Right? Third, trust. Absolute trust of the ecosystem. Every Indian, and not just Indian, across the world is proud of the accomplishment of ISRO. Trust of the ecosystem. Trust of other countries, which is very, very important in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity cannot be a national or just one country priority. It has to be across the world. And there is one institution which has done that phenomenally, and for which we also share the same annual day. We are also inaugurated on 15th of August, and we are proud to also have the same day as ISRO. So it was a natural thing that we had the right leader of an organization such as ISRO and Dr. Somanath to be between us. So can we give a round of applause? A louder. One thing that I can tell you, sir, today it is just one step for SISA, but today you are enlightening 500 people plus many people to come and join entire cybersecurity community of the country. You're inspiring us with your presence. This is going to make us work harder, making work smarter, and definitely break the boundaries which we ourselves have put. I'm going to challenge ourselves. We're going to get better, and we're going to put India on the global map just like how ISRO did. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Darshan, for your insightful remarks. Now I'm delighted to invite our esteemed guest of honor, Ms. Tanusree Barma, to share her valuable insights with us.
Good morning, everyone. Esteemed guests, Somanath sir, Darshan, friends from the SISA team, and many others who have joined us for this auspicious occasion today. Just wanted to share a small anecdote of myself growing up in my teens, and came across many books related to space, and everything said NASA doing this, NASA doing that. So immediately I got inspired by that, and I wanted to be either an astronaut or an astronomer or an astrophysicist, something I had to be. And when I shared this with my parents, they said, why NASA? Why don't you aim to join ISRO? And that was the first time I came to know the great developments that India, as a developing country at that point of time, had already achieved in the field of space research. And it was very, very inspiring for a young girl student trying to reach the levels of, to be able to, aspire to be at a level where you can join an esteemed organization like ISRO. And that's how the journey, started for me, where, of course, the jostling happens where you need to be an engineer first and then go into astrophysics. You need to balance out the career goals, etc. And the things, the way they turn out, I did land up into the administrative service, and the journey still continues, where my inclination towards information technology keeps driving me or keeps attracting me to posts which are technology driven, and that has been my good fortune, that I have been able to be in touch with such great minds who are building nation, who are in the public sector and private sector, being able to contribute to the country's prowess in IT, in emerging technologies, space research, as well as information security as we stand here today. My first interaction with Darshan was a couple of months back, when SISA shot up to glory, I would say, by having a patent which was so important in terms of cybersecurity, especially in the background of the DPDP Act, where having the core identity parameters on your databases will become critical, and how you handle it in terms of ensuring personal security and data privacy. And that's when I reached out to him, and within 24 hours, their team was in our office, and we were talking about how UIDAI would be, a potential client in the future, and many other such organizations in the government and, of course, the private sector, how it will become very crucial for us to handle personal data, and how organizations like SISA will help us in doing so. Talking about India's leadership in IT and IT services and IT products, it's a story that everybody knows. But taking cue from what Darshan said, that we are at a point of inflection where, given our presence in the world in terms of the world's back office to the world's R&D hub, we are in a position where, and also our country's growing importance as a developing country, as a developed country, we are becoming very vulnerable to attacks. The fact is that our country's reputation, as it rises as a growing nation, as an important country financially, technologically, our value as a target improves and keeps becoming more and more vulnerable. At this juncture, if we do not, as a government and as a society, invest in cybersecurity, having R&D in place, R&D institutions in place, ensuring that training is there, ensuring educational institutes right from the beginning are concentrating in this field, and ensuring that as people skill and reskill, cybersecurity becomes second nature to us, we will fall behind heavily from the leadership position that we are already in. And I would like to congratulate Darshan and the entire SISA team over here today to making that possible. Already you have taken a lot of steps to mark a feather in the cap of the country in terms of ensuring that we have the right team in place, the right products that are being rolled out, and ensuring that organizations like this, like the Cyber Nalanda that is being built, will set as a trailblazer for a lot of other institutions to follow queue in the government and outside the government. It's very critical, not just for SISA, but also a critical step in nation building, I would say. And I'm looking forward to the organization doing even better, getting more accolades for yourself as well as the country. Talking about Somanath sir, it's just an immense honor and pleasure to be sitting on the same dais as with him. They have set the standards for the country in terms of other organizations to follow queue as to what can happen. And I would again request sir that I would personally request him to come over to UIDAI one of these days and inspire our entire technology team there as well. Congratulations to the entire team here. Congratulations, Darshan. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. On this momentous occasion, we are thrilled to unveil a special video that captures the essence of Cyber Nalanda. I would like to invite our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Somanath, to officially launch the Cyber Nalanda film.
Are you sure there is no intruder in your environment? In the recently concluded forensic investigation, we found that the intruder was there in the environment for a period of 18 months. This led to huge financial losses and high reputation damage. How do we overcome situations like this? This is where we come in. SISA is a forensics-driven cybersecurity solutions company. We leverage our forensics knowledge to protect the digital payment industry. Over the last 18 years, we have established ourselves as a global leader in cybersecurity. Through our unwavering commitment, we have been at the forefront of the fight against cyber threats. This has been good so far. However, technology is leapfrogging. With technologies like AI, quantum, 6G, and so on and so forth, these technologies are creating multifold risks. Hence, future risk needs attention. One powerful solution to solve this problem is to invest in advanced research and development and continuous learning. Hence the concept of Cyber Nalanda, a concept which is based on the ancient center of excellence where we invest in advanced security solutions. This concept is going to make India a global leader in cybersecurity and build solutions for the world. For Cyber Nalanda to truly excel, it has to focus on three broad areas. First is on strategic partnerships with academic institutions of global presence. Second is to invest both time and money on R&D. SISA commits to invest 10% of its revenues on R&D. Third is to address the skill gap. With 3.5 million jobs vacant, SISA plans to address this with ANAB accredited certifications. Please join us, collaborate with us, and let's build a future for cybersecurity.
Thank you, sir. May I now request you to deliver the keynote address and enlighten the gathering.
Good morning, all of you. Family of SISA, all its well-wishers, friends. Thank you for inviting me here for this foundation stone ceremony of the Nalanda. I really got inspired by the name, of course. And after coming here, I came to understand a little bit about the concept. Thank you, Darshan, for that idea that you are trying to bring in. Really, this domain of cybersecurity is something which I had no clue to start with, maybe a few years back. Now, I am from the generation of engineers who started the career without ever knowing computers. No, when I graduated, there was no computers at my college. And not even when I came and joined ISRO, there were no PCs. We had only the HP 9000 computer and the PDP 11 and all those type of stuff to start with. But that was an era where we started learning about computers. But then the transitioning from that time to now has been tremendous. And for us, sometime back, many years back, the security was nothing but an antivirus. From an antivirus to the products that we talk about today is a great journey for you people. And with the times, I think the applications are expanding. The threats are also expanding. I think it's a very natural process. Whenever there is something happening, there will be a counter happening for it. I think we are also very familiar with it, especially when you are working in space. Now the domain is like this. The need of cybersecurity tools, solutions become very, very evident. And after me having occupied this position, I had a little more insight into the type of work needed to be done, the type of threat perception that the country faces, not only for ISRO, but also for the whole of the nation. I have a little more clearer picture. And the picture puts us in a really very precarious situation. I think let us all realize it very well, that though we are happy with what is happening, that the situation around us looks okay, but it's not at all okay. I think it's really, if you go deeper into it, I think it will come to understand the real threats are of very high magnitude. And they are not limited to some of those theft of your personal data or some of the attacks that you hear and there, but it is to do with much greater scale of events that can unfold when something will happen at a later point in time. And it is to do with the security of the nation itself. I think to that scale, it can grow. It can threaten all of us. Our existence, our lives, our resources, the strength, everything can be questioned on that simple point of cybersecurity. So in that event, how do we really prepare ourselves over long periods of time? This is something very, very important. As Darshan just now mentioned, our position in the nations, in the level of competence in this domain possibly is very low now. But then it's a serious issue that we need to find out ways and means by which it can really be taken up. But this is one part of the story. But then if you really look at our IT services and IT tools that we have been doing over the years, one of the very sad part is that we have been working on technologies which are already existing and finding out solutions based on those technologies. Of course, we have been good at building certain platforms for the global customers and bring revenues, brings jobs in India in a substantial manner, especially in the IT domain. But if you really go into the core technology development part in this domain, we will see the story is not that very good at all. If you really look at the type of applications or softwares that has come out of Indian industries, in core technology domains, we will see that they are very, very less, extremely less. For example, in the domains which I work, for example, the space domain, most of the softwares which we use for our own applications are written by our own people. You look at domains like the flight dynamics, how to send a satellite up there, how to design the trajectory of a rocket to go up there, or even control the satellite in orbit, the communication protocols, the design tools which we use for designing a rocket or even for a satellite, and many of the standard tools that we talk about here, the tools for structural design, tools for thermal design, electromagnetic design, circuit design, and many of them are procured. They are not coming from out of our own core competence. They are more mathematical, more technical to code them, to test them, and bring it out as a product. I had association with many companies, startups in the late 90s who were trying to do this type of work. But over the years, I have seen many of them going down the drain and not really making an impact in the commercial space. They were not able to sustain, build it up over a period of time. And most of those companies moved away from India to other parts of the world, though they were actually incubated in India. And we have seen this issue over long periods of time, and we have taken a decision within ISRO that we are slowly going to change it and trying to develop those core competencies and bring out software products which are now industry friendly from ISRO. I think we have recently released a software called FEAST. Possibly you would have heard about it, called Finite Element Analysis Structures. It's a software that can be used by structural engineers, architects, designers, bridges, or aircrafts. And you can use this software for all those designs which possibly could be maybe a little deficient than the commercial ones which are available in the market. But this is on par in terms of its capabilities. But the user friendliness, of course, possibly it will be suffering. But there are other tools like the fluid flow problems. CFD is a very complex computational problem which requires huge computational infrastructure. We have developed, in fact, when I was the director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, I called 5 of my young engineers and told them that we should develop a core CFD tool within ISRO. Till then, we have been using a brought-out core and then built up on that a CFD structure. And these 5 people worked for 1 year and brought out one of the best software CFD tool which we are using today in ISRO. And we are now trying to make it commercially available. And you talk about the now thermal orbital mechanics or long-term evolution of space objects. Possibly, there are thousands of satellites in space, and all of them move randomly here and there, and they can come and collide at any time. And this is a very complex problem, and this complex problem requires softwares which requires to be analyzing all these trajectories and finding out whether they will ever come very close to each other. We call them analysis of collision possibilities. It's a probabilistic mathematical analysis. But this analysis tool we have developed internally in ISRO, and today we are one of the best in the world to give solutions for such problem, and we do global competitions, and our results are on par with many of those predictions that are brought out in the world. And we also do similar predictions of satellites re-entry, and if you know how to calculate them very precisely, how they will re-enter at some point in time and then enter Earth, and our results compared with the global competitions where we conduct are all on par. And many of these results possibly you may not ever know, and these are done by our own engineers in India who have been trained in our institutions. Engineers and scientists who came out of our own institutions have the ability to do all of this stuff in India. Possibly we can do much more in the core scientific and technical work of software coding and analysis, which are more mathematical, which are more academically oriented. And this is precisely the task that we have ahead in cybersecurity as well. Today, the work of SISA possibly could be on finding problems, solutions for your customers all across the globe. Of course, that is one part of the business that you are trying to develop right now. But your concept of Cyber Nalanda is something very inspiring for me. And you are trying to bring in researchers, you are trying to bring in the academic people who are fresh from the colleges and universities, who are coming up with great ideas and trying to experiment with new thoughts and possibilities. And this is where you should catch, this is where you should connect with even industry demand and the academic possibilities. And when you can do this too, then you should be able to make world-class products out of it. It could be in hardware, it could be in software. And this is a challenge, and this can happen only when you have an inspiring leadership who will be ready to invest your time and effort and create that team of inspired people. You don't need hundreds of them, you need tens of them in an organization of this class. If you can create such an inspired team, you can work with anyone and create that fantastic tools that the world will look at ahead in the future. And only through that you will be able to become, you will raise your position in the cyber world of security from the 17th, as Darshan said. I really don't know whether it is 17th, but to a position that should be the top ones. And this is very, very important for us. Because today in ISRO also we have huge infrastructure, especially which are vulnerable. We have satellites in orbit, we have 55 of them. We have huge networks, which are internal networks. You have also the commanding networks and the satellite data receptions all across the globe. All are connected to our data centers. and global access is possible for all of them. And especially when when the Chandrayaan-3 was landing, our data was coming from Australia and in Spain and South Africa and many other places, and we have been coordinating to work with all of this during the landing process. And our commands go from here, but it will be uploaded from some other terminal in some other continent. And it is all vulnerable. I think you should all realize that such commanding and control of satellites from across the globe could be very, very vulnerable. And we realize that this is all something that we need to take care. And we also realize that many of our satellites can become easily targets of such attacks, though we harden them with your hardware, software protection. But it is nothing is safe in this world. I think anybody can hack or create havoc in our system. And also, of course, the data that we have collected, especially the design data or the personal data or the scientific data that we have created over the years, could also be very vulnerable. And we are also seeing threats to most of our installations. And these threats requires to be mitigated over a period of time. And it's not true for ISRO alone, but it's for most of the infrastructure assets. It could be for your air traffic. I think we have seen recently how it can be very vulnerable. It could be for our train networks. It could be our financial transactions. It could be for our national security information systems. So it is very, very important as a nation that we need to promote cybersecurity awareness. It also goes with your culture. It's not just the technology. It has to do with many of your culture, the way you handle products and systems, and the people training that you give to individuals and societies. That also matters in terms of security. So security is nothing but a personal attribute that will have to be developed over a period of time along with the technology aspect of it. And I'm really happy that SISA is building this capability. In fact, in the last few years, I was trying to connect with many of the people who are working in this domain. Of course, my team is represented here with Chetwani, and he has been very active to connect with all the people across the country in this domain. And I am very happy to talk to many of them and find out how they can be useful for the nation first, and also for the globe, for the entire world first, where you want to live as a secured, not threatened by others. Especially there are forces which you want to destabilize you, not just to be on the personal level, but also in the global, national level power struggle. For a nation like India, it's very important because, as he said, it's a very democratic country where you don't do much of those activities in the manner that is not done by others. So it's very important to develop a very democratic process of developing this capability in institutions, not only in governmental institutions, but also in private institutions as well. That's why SISA's role is very important. And I want to make sure that this connect between all the governmental institutions and SISA continue. And it's our hope that you create the right ecosystem under SISA, connecting the researchers, the new generation of people, the academics, and also the inspired young people who will be willing to work in this domain, which is very exciting. As I know, Darshan is also a finance guy who got charmed by the cybersecurity. I think many of you may be of similar attributes. So I wish once again all the very best to SISA for their journey, and happy to be here amongst you. And thank you so much, and best wishes to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Now we will have a quick Q&A session. All of our presentees here, if they want to ask any sort of question, you can ask.
Thank you. Thank you, Sneha. Quick question, sir. Just taking the liberty of a couple of questions on behalf of all the seasides that are there. ISRO has been able to produce one of the finest leaders, including the President of India. So can you, for a company like ours, and of course generally as a community, what is the secret sauce, if there is any, for building such leaders of such extraordinary quality? Because I'm growing up, watching films of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Professor U.R. Rao used to stay close to my house. Now I'm sitting next to you. So what is the secret sauce of building world-class leaders from such a fantastic institution? So is there anything that we can take home?
Thank you. I think this story I had told many times about building leadership in an organization go with a certain amount of culture. I cannot explain it very easily because it takes long time to tell about the culture of an organization. But then I can tell you a story about me, then it will be more clear. When I joined ISRO, I met with some finest people in the organization. Possibly you know about Madhavan Nair, who used to be the chairman of ISRO later. And my boss, Mr. Ramakrishnan. I was also trying to get out of ISRO those days because 80s were not that nice time in ISRO. We were all failing, rockets were all going down, none of them were successful. And many of my classmates who joined ISRO were writing examination like civil service that you wrote, and also the GRE and TOEFL and trying to get out, and many actually left. And that was a time when salaries were very less. So, the inspiration levels were very low. So in such a situation, how do you continue an organization? And frankly, I was also writing my civil service examination. In fact, my boss, Ramakrishnan, came to know about it. And he didn't tell anything. And he said that, okay, you are writing the examination. Yeah, good. But what exactly you are going to do there? After studying engineering and you become an IAS officer, what exactly you will do? Will you ever be able to do some engineering work, scientific work, technical work? And you will be working with some ministers. No, that's what you will ultimately do. So he will occasionally call me and talk such small talks as if he's not telling me not to write the examination. He's never ever telling me. But then what he did is, he will give me a new assignment every time after talk. He will give me an additional assignment. He will make sure that I am loaded 200% of my capacity, so that I will not be able to take even one day leave off, so that I can go and study my papers or write the examination possibly. But still I managed my prelims. I got it. I was preparing for the mains. He again made sure that I will not be given a single day leave. Okay. So I wrote my mains. I didn't make it. Of course, I went back and told him, sir, I could not make the examination. Immediately he congratulated. Oh, great. You are not leaving us. You are not leaving us. So he was very, very happy. Why I said is, like this is that, there is a connect which you create in an organization. You need to create a inspiring generation of people. Why I talk about Ramakrishnan is I am indebted to him so much as a person, a boss. And he carried me along the entire career in the organization to make sure I grow personally. He made sure that he found whatever traits are needed in a leader, and he tried to create where there are weaknesses. He will put me in difficult situations to make sure that I will come out successful. He will make me do things which in that level, seniority level, people will not be generally doing it. And he will put you in a higher platform whenever there is an opportunity. And when I am failing, he will take the responsibility. I have seen one important incident also when I was assembling the rocket of the PSLV. That was the satellite, possibly the Kalpana satellite. We were assembling on a date, and it was late night, maybe 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. I was assembling. The satellite had a hit with the rocket, and we have broken some part of the rocket. And I was in charge of the assembly. And I was standing there and assembling. And the whole launch got postponed because of that incident. And Chairman ISRO, and I was a junior engineer at that time. And next day, Chairman ISRO was reviewing it. And I was told that I am going to get firing this day, and possibly very difficult situation for me. And Ramakrishnan came, you told me that you prepare a good presentation on how this happened, what are the elements of it. But I will take responsibility to present. You are not going to present. And he gave the presentation to Chairman, and Chairman only asked, who was there in charge? Then I stood up, I was in charge. You didn't tell a word, and that Chairman was Professor U.R. Rao. Possibly you know him. But then the point is that after correction, after all those impact assessment, the next day we were assembling the rocket, and they put same person, me itself, in charge of doing that assembly. And they didn't put another person because you made that error, you made a mistake. I was not punished, but I was put the same responsibility, making sure that I will do the correction and do it very well this time. So I can tell you again, this is a culture of the organization that build people. It will build confidence in them. It gives them responsibility, and you don't punish for the mistakes that you do, but you reward them by giving them higher responsibility. And can you ever do in an organization like that? And it is very difficult. And this is the only reason why you find out finest people out of our organization.
Phenomenal. Excellent. Thank you, sir. In fact, great work from Mr. Ramakrishnan that we have a chairman of ISRO now. If he had not motivated you to, stay on, I think we would have lost a great leader like you. The second question that I have, a follow-up question, is frugality, right? And I've heard that in a number of, your interviews, doing something so it's easy to build something of such magnitude with all the resources in the world. And we have this statement that, as leaders, you have to manage with constraints. And that's a true test of leadership in ISRO, because obviously there are constraints. And the fact that, where you have $2 billion of fund, whereas NASA would be a $24 billion of funding. So, just comparison from a frugality standpoint, and you've been always an exemplary for frugality. Can you just tell us how important that is for, especially a bootstrap company like us, and what are the lessons that we can learn from there?
No, again, this goes with the inner nature of the organization. The first thing that our budgets are always very, very less. Many a times you may not know that our budget is hardly 13,000 crores in a year. It's not a huge budget for an organization like us. But for the work that we do, 13,000 crore is really small. It is less than 1% of our national budget. But then while we formulate projects, one of the important lessons we feed into the mind of the people is that we need to be very, very cost effective. And this is told in the very beginning. Every time it is told. And every time review the whole project, we will tell them that, of course, you need to find out ways by which you can bring down the cost. So, and again, it has to do with the culture. For example, you will try to minimize the number of tests. But the more the test you have to have more hardwares, more parts that are to be built. So you will have to find out methods by which it can be reused. Possibly, I can tell you that I have flown many rocket parts which are already discarded after testing. It was set aside, but I have taken back, repaired, reused, and flown successfully in rockets. So we will never see this in many other agencies. So reuse of the hardware, minimizing the number of tests, and go for more of simulations. We do as much of computer simulations and less of hardware testing. So this is another technology, because many a times I have seen NASA and all fly their first rocket only after testing their propulsion system for at least 6, 7, 8 times. But we have flown our rocket PSLV or even the latest LVM-3 just after 2 static tests. Nobody ever do that. So this comes out of some of the finest computational mathematical models that we have perfected. I think over the years I have seen that type of capability is really good. Mathematical capability, analytical capability is really good. And because of that, our hardware testing or number could be very, very less. But the most important contribution of low cost comes out of the collaboration that we have with industries. Over the years, we have been working with industries in India. At least 400 odd industries we have worked. And all of them work with ISRO, not for really profit. I think this is, again, a very secret which I will tell some places. Many industries find it exceptionally good to work with us. Not the one which will build some standard products like the air conditioning or buildings, but with the core technical work which they do, their capability actually get enhanced to do global work. I'll give an example by people like Godrej. They have been very well known for building locks and almaras and things like that, but they are building our rocket engines. They invested in creating the facility for building the rocket engines, and that gave them such a good capability in building complex machinery. Today they take global contracts because they have ability to know how to build precision parts, complex welding, forming, all those stuff, they know how to do that. Similarly, L&T, Larsen & Toubro, they have invested heavily in creating the steel manufacturing for rocket motors at Mumbai. And because of that capability, now they build the submarines for India. They are the only company who are capable of building submarines because they have built ISRO's rockets and they know how to build high quality products of that class using the manufacturing skill that we had jointly developed. So though we don't give them profit, but they give them knowledge, they give them, upskill them to a global level. And many of them love to work with us because it actually upskills them substantially higher. So they gave us a very low quote. And don't think that you are giving any of the industry partners who are listening here, don't increase your quote by knowing that I am telling you all the praise for them. But then you have been so good with us that you gave us very, very competitive quotes for doing the work for ISRO.
Thank you, sir. One last question. In terms of any three things that, any piece of advice that you would want to give SISA and CSIDs? Just the last piece of advice.
No, the only thing that I can tell you that create a strong bond in the organization. And this work requires an inspiration. It's just not a work, day-to-day work that you are going to do here. Developing a core competence in an organization requires high level of inspiration. And if you can create leadership to create that inspiration, you will be able to bring out world-class product. You can see that everywhere. Every company makes the great products only out of such inspired leadership, not by a routine nature of the work. So that becomes very important. So to the management also, I will tell you that identify at least few talents who will be able to do that type of work. And inspirational leadership, if you can come out of it, I think they will be able to take this company to a great level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. To conclude our program, I would like to invite Mr. Venu Nambiar, Head of Brand and Communications at SISA, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, sorry about that, and thank you, Sneha. Yes, it's a Thursday morning, it's a working day, but I promise I won't keep you for more than 3 or 4 minutes, okay? I would like to express my deepest gratitude to each of you for being here today on this momentous occasion. Today's event is not just a celebration of our past, but a glimpse into the future we are building together through our investment in cutting-edge research and development cybersecurity, laying the foundation of Cyber Nalanda as the first step in that direction. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt thank you to our distinguished guest, Honorable Chairman of ISRO, Dr. Somanath. Sir, your presence today has elevated this milestone to a new level of significance. We are truly honored by your support and encouragement, which inspires us to reach even greater heights in the years to come. As a gesture of our appreciation, I request Darshan to present a memento to Dr. Somanath. A big thank you to Ms. Tanusree Barma, the Deputy Director General, Technology Development, UIDAI. Ma'am, your presence here today reaffirms the importance of our mission, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, Darshan. To our esteemed industry leaders and dignitaries, your insights and leadership in this ever-evolving field of cybersecurity is what motivates us to keep innovating and pushing the boundaries. To our customers, to our 2,000 plus customers across 40 countries, thank you for placing your trust in us. Your partnership has been invaluable in shaping who we are today, and we are committed to delivering even more value as we embark on this exciting new chapter. I also want to take a moment to recognize the unwavering dedication of our 500 plus strong seasides. For 18 years, you have poured your heart and soul and breathed life into this entity, helping us grow from humble beginnings to where we stand today. Your hard work, resilience, and belief in our vision have been the cornerstone of our success. Like I mentioned earlier, this event is not just a celebration of our journey, thus far, but a commitment to the future. The journey ahead is full of opportunities, and we are determined to make the most of it, driven by innovation, collaboration, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Once again, thank you all for your presence, your support, and your belief in SISA. Together, we are building a future that is more secure, more innovative, and more impactful. Thank you, and have a great day ahead. Now I request all of you to stand up for the national anthem. Thank you.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Hello, request all of you to be seated when Dr. Somanath is leaving the entry. Thank you, Dr. Somanath.